Shedeur is going to be the starter
Yeah.
going into a game. And I would rather, if I'm Shedeur, I get it. I want to get on the field by any means necessary. But if I'm Shedeur, give me my week of preparation, design a game plan around what I do well, and put me out there on the first snap. Don't throw me out there after like getting 2 snaps of practice all week and then determine how good I am off of that.
It all went down quietly, then boom, it rocked the entire NFL. The Cleveland Browns just traded Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals, and fans everywhere are stunned. This wasn't just a trade, it was a meltdown in motion, a move so wild and reckless that even insiders thought it was a prank at first. Yesterday, Flacco was Cleveland's calm veteran anchor, the adult holding it all together. Then, in a blink, he was shipped to a division rival like a disposable pawn in a billionaire's power play. This wasn't about strategy or stats, it was about control, ego, and one man's need to prove he runs the show.
He just made a trade. We still have more people to evaluate. Jim Schwartz has been great with the defense. Credit to him. But Kevin Stefanski and the offense have been awful, guys. Seriously. It's just like, I just don't think he's doing enough.
Behind the polished press releases and PR smiles, this was a bloodbath. What looked like a standard mid-season shuffle was actually a public execution. Cleveland's internal chaos burst wide open.
And maybe that's on the quarterback, right? Like, obviously, how many plays can you call when Joe Flacco is your quarterback? You're limited. Is that the case with Gabriel too? Is the play calling limited because Gabriel doesn't take deep shots? Maybe.
Because the decision didn't come from the coaching staff. It came straight from an emergency meeting in the owner's office, where tempers flared and careers got torched. Sources say the order was brutal. Start Shedeur Sanders or start packing your bags. Kevin Stefanski begged for logic, begged for time, begged for sanity. But Jimmy Haslam wasn't hearing it.
There was a piece of news that broke while we were sitting down, and I was just curious to get your reaction to that. The Browns traded away Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I got that
Cincinnati.
text during practice.
I was just wondering what your reaction is.
I don't give a damn about the Browns at all. I care about the Colorado Buffaloes. I do love me some Shedeur Sanders, don't believe that. I care about him.
He wanted headlines, not hesitation. He was done waiting for results, done watching from the luxury box, ready to remind everyone who signs the checks. Joe Flacco became the scapegoat, the veteran tossed aside to make room for a media thunderstorm. And with that single stunning move, the Browns didn't just trade a quarterback, they lit a match and declared war on themselves. Quick pause. If you want every twist in this Browns saga, the moment it happens.
I'm totally with you. Let's evaluate both the quarterbacks. Shedeur and Gabriel own the QB room. They're the only two signed to our active roster at the moment at the quarterback position. We're bound to see them both play. And let's figure that out this year, right? There's no point in having Shedeur sit on the sideline the entire year. You drafted them both.
Tap subscribe now so you don't miss the next chapter when the Sanders decision hits the field. Here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. It wasn't about picks, wasn't about cap, and wasn't even about football. It was a statement, loud, ruthless, televised. The Haslams aren't running a team right now, they're running a show. Every move feels scripted, every headline perfectly staged, and today the cameras were front and center like reality TV gone wrong. If you've been watching since camp, you've felt it building. Quarterback feuds, fan meltdowns, locker room whispers. It was never heading toward peace, only toward an explosion.
You should find out before next year's NFL draft if you still need a quarterback or if we have the guy in one of the two that we just drafted. You drafted 2 rookies. Heck, the most important position in football, or at least the one that's in the spotlight the most. We need to evaluate both of our young quarterback talents.
The real drama didn't unfold on the turf. It happened behind a locked door where every ounce of authority in the building was hanging by a thread. Morning, emergency meeting. Stefanski walks in calm, playbook tucked tight, ready to defend his plan. Across the table sits Haslam, stone-faced, flanked by advisors who look more like prosecutors than partners. No pleasantries, no small talk, pure tension. Haslam leans forward, eyes cold, and drops the bomb that splits the franchise in 2. We're starting Shedeur this Sunday. Make the move today? The room freezes. Stefanski fires back about stability, leadership, playoffs, the pulse of the locker room. Haslam doesn't blink. The decision's already made, the message crystal clear. This isn't about football anymore. Stefanski tries to stay composed, voice low but steady. We built around experience for a reason. Haslam's tone turns to ice. You've had your chance. Start him, or we'll find someone who will. Meeting over. Power redefined. Within hours, phones buzz. Flacco's name gets shopped in whispers everyone already expects. By midday, Cincinnati bites. Conditional 7th. Future considerations. Pennies for a proven veteran. Inside the Browns facility, the silence is deafening. Stefanski walks out pale, jaw locked, eyes hollow, like a man who just watched his authority get stripped for parts. He calls in an assistant, mutters next steps, shuts the door. For all his football acumen, he just lost the one war no coach can win, the one against ownership. Truth is, this didn't start in that room. It's been brewing since the first July heat wave of training camp. Fans lined the fence screaming one name louder than all the rest, Shedeur. He wasn't just another rookie. He was a 5th-round pick with first-round fame. Cameras followed him like a movie star. Endorsements arrived before the pads did. And without a single NFL pass, he had millions chanting his name. To fans, he was the savior. To Stefanski, he was raw promise. To Haslam, he was marketing gold. Every throw in practice got cheers. Every highlight leak blew up in seconds. Every time Stefanski gave Flacco another rep, with the ones you could feel the tension rise. Vets respected Flacco's calm and order. Younger guys whispered about Shedeur's spark, an energy that felt like a new era. Reporters picked it up. Radio piled on. Why draft Sanders if you're too scared to play him? Every presser turned into a firing line. The narrative slid out of Stefanski's hands, and Cleveland began to crack from the inside out. Stefanski kept the composure playbook handy. He's developing, he's learning. But the more he said it, the louder the questions got. Patience turned to an argument. The argument turned to a civil war. Flacco's camp preached discipline and professionalism. Shedeur's camp saw a revolution delayed, a future held hostage. Every Flacco first-team rep became sabotage. Every snap Shedeur spent on the sideline looked like conspiracy. The noise was deafening. Haslam saw outrage and smelled opportunity. Stefanski saw a live wire. When the trade finally dropped, it didn't feel like strategy. It felt like a sentence being handed down. Months of tension, pride, and ego cracked the dam. Online, it was a meteor. Threads melted, timelines flooded, highlights roared across feeds. Shedeur's face was everywhere. He hadn't taken an NFL snap and fans were acting like he'd already delivered them from the desert. Ninth shotter season. New Browns era. Shows killed their rundowns and went wall to wall. Bars rolled his Colorado tape like it was a holiday. Shirts popped up overnight. Prime blood, Cleveland grit. Even rival fans admitted the city hadn't felt this alive in years. But inside that locker room, the energy split. Excitement tangled with unease. Some players felt the buzz, others felt betrayed. Everyone knew this wasn't just a new chapter. It was the storm that could resurrect the Browns or rip them apart. Inside the building, tempers simmered. One assistant vented off record. It's like giving your ex the keys and praying they forgot the code. Leadership tried to spin the trade as flexibility. But the truth was obvious. This wasn't football, it was politics. In a division defined by grudges and razor-thin margins, mistakes like this don't fade. They fester. Trade stability for spectacle, and you're not betting on a rookie, you're betting the franchise. By the time the deal stamped, Stefanski wasn't angry, he was numb. He walked the halls like sand slipping through his fingers. Assistants felt it, players saw it. Something deep inside cracked. For years, he'd built a brand on calm and structure, tamed the chaos. That's why he got the job. But chaos is Cleveland's native language, and this time it came from the top. The Flacco trade wasn't a roster tweak, it was a power shift, a siren that the strings now run straight from the owner's box. In one afternoon, the hierarchy flipped. Whispers raced. Some blamed the owner, some pitied Stefanski. Most muttered the chilling truth. If they can do that to him, they can do it to any of us. Next morning, Stefanski faced the mics. The lines were perfect, confident in our direction. Every decision is about winning. Joe was a pro, but his face told the truth, drained. He wasn't debating the media anymore. He was battling irrelevance. Behind closed doors, he considered walking. Years and millions left on the deal. But what good is money when you've lost the wheel? If they want a reality show, let them coach it, he reportedly told staff. He didn't quit, not yet. Leaving would be surrender, so like every cornered coach, he adjusted. Smile for cameras, pretend to believe the hype, then lead a room that doesn't listen. And the timing couldn't be worse. This roster was supposed to be peaking. Elite defense, veteran leadership, a real window. Instead, they're chasing clicks and highlights. Everyone knows how the blame game plays. If Shedeur soars, Haslam claims the win. If he sputters, Stefanski swallows it whole. This is more than a quarterback swap. It's a clash of eras. Flacco was old school. Discipline, quiet leadership, drives that don't scare your cardiologist. Shedeur is the opposite. Flash, magnetism, a brand bigger than his stat line. Flacco gives you safety. Quick game, controlled tempo, predictable outcomes. Shedeur offers volatility and voltage. Every snap could be a masterpiece or a meltdown. One vet nailed it. Flacco reads defenses like a textbook. Shedeur reads them like a highlight reel. Electrifying, terrifying. Cleveland didn't know which version of itself it wanted. Some loved the spark, others missed the calm. But the decision was already made. The Browns weren't chasing balance anymore. They were chasing attention. Once the trade went public, the story didn't belong to Cleveland. It belonged to the world. ESPN rewrote segments. FS1 turned it into a week-long circus. NFL Network ran Flacco retros spliced with slow-mo of Shedeur warming up. Chain glinting, helmet tilt just right. Cleveland wasn't just on the sports page. They were on every timeline. Shows debated. Bold leadership or pure dysfunction? Did Haslam ignite the future or torch another season? Reporters parsed Stefanski's facial micro-expressions like Zapruder film, while fan accounts dropped Mahomes' comparisons edits before breakfast. The trade became a meme overnight, Cleveland doing Cleveland things. Half joke, half disbelief. Beneath the mockery, everyone kept watching. Like it or not, the Browns had just become the most clickable team in football. For Haslam, that's the dream. Buzz, relevance, ratings. For Stefanski, it's a nightmare. For Shedeur, it's a pressure cooker. Fame before proof. Every throw, every sideline glance, every whisper recorded and replayed. He isn't just prepping for a first start. He's starring in a live documentary called The Browns Experiment. If you're riding with this roller coaster, hit like and subscribe. We're breaking down every snap, every install, and every leak the second it hits. Then the darker truth surfaced. The chaos wasn't random. It was curated. Weeks earlier, the league's power rooms were buzzing with one reality. The NFL thrives when young, marketable quarterbacks lead the conversation. The future isn't steady, it's star-driven. Shedeur checks every box. Confident rookie, famous father, viral footprint. Veterans like Flacco don't move numbers. Shedeur does. In today's NFL, attention is currency. So when Cleveland handed him the keys, it wasn't just coaching, it was broadcast strategy. Networks ate it up, sponsors smiled, merch spiked. The league's own PR leaned into the next generation is here. One insider said it plain, Cleveland didn't just trade a quarterback. They traded for relevance. But as the volume around the Shedeur era rose, the cost got buried. Trust broken, leadership frayed, a locker room taught to read tea leaves instead of call sheets. The Browns weren't merely a team now, they were a product. Unpredictable, dramatic, profitable. And in this league, that can be as valuable as winning until it isn't. Game day, Sunday night football, Ravens-Browns. Lights cut through Baltimore fog. All eyes lock on one man, Shedeur Sanders, making his first official NFL start in the middle of the storm Cleveland created. He jogs out calm, chin high, cameras orbiting. Behind him, Stefanski stands frozen, headset on, expression unreadable. To the world, it looks like confidence. Inside, it's survival. This isn't football anymore, it's theater. Every throw is dissected online before the huddle breaks. Every incompletion is a viral clip. Every sideline looked birth certified into body language analysis. By halftime, half the desk calls it the rebirth of Cleveland football. The other half declares it the obituary for Stefanski's tenure. In the locker room, the air hums. Some rally behind the rookie. Others wonder if they're still playing a sport or acting in a live show. There's no turning back. The old Browns are gone, replaced by a headline machine that trades control for chaos. When the whistle finally lands, the score almost feels secondary. The experiment has begun. Cleveland officially traded stability for spectacle, control for noise, experience for entertainment. Whether it works almost doesn't matter. They grabbed the one thing every franchise secretly wants: attention. In the days that follow, Shedeur's jersey rockets up charts. Segments run on the Sanders effect. The NFL's newest star has arrived. Inside the facility, celebration tastes uneasy. Stefanski's voice no longer commands the room. Players speak carefully. Whispers of dysfunction drown out the playlist. Because deep down, everyone knows the truth. The Browns didn't just launch a new era, they crossed the line you can't uncross. No matter how many touchdowns Shedeur throws or how many headlines he owns, one question hovers over the building like stadium lights after midnight. Did Cleveland finally find its savior, or did it just sell its soul? Drop your take in the comments, and if you want the instant film room on Shedeur's first 15, the locker room read, and the fallout from the Flacco deal, make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are on. Like the video to push it to more Browns fans, share it with the group chat, and buckle up, because this story isn't slowing down, and the next twist is already on the clock.